Rakatintantun. It's Maji Mueve, y'all. I hope you're having an amazing day. As I've mentioned, there's so many videos. I just think, do I want to talk about this today or do I want to talk? Because there's just so many things. Um, I will say it's gotten a lot of people angry throughout my life. Friends, family, people I've dated, even on the first dates only, right? Where they don't like that I have an answer to everything. But I do. I do have an answer to everything because I have an opinion. And I have a reasoning of my opinion. And I also don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. That's how I know so much of what I know today. But this vid is going to be, I still don't know what I'm going to call it, but it's basically going to be, this is what I like to say. This is 111. This is my quote that I made up a long time ago. And I've said it so many times over the years. And it's, you could have the same thing, the same tragic, sad, terrible, awful thing happen to 1,000 people. And none of those people would be the same. Sure, there might be similarities, but none of those people would be the same. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because all of us handle sadness, evil, and trauma differently. All of us do. And it also, I think, definitely has a lot to do with how much experience you have of it, too. So when you're already kind of used to, for example, part of me kind of feels like I must have been an evil person in a past life because I've gone through so much terrible things in my life. But at the same time, when I do something right, which is usual, when I do something kind, which is usual, I get, look at that, 222, I get great things happening to me too, which is why I think a lot of people don't believe or even realize how much pain I've endured because they just think you're such a beautiful woman and you get so much attention and everyone loves you and you're good at this and you're good at that. Yeah, but I've also been discriminated against, taken advantage of, dissed, abandoned, dumped, raped, abused. That's all happened. But this video is not to talk about the sadness of it, which I don't have an issue talking about, but I kind of feel like that's more for therapy. I want to be here to help y'all, right? And doesn't mean that, I don't want you guys to see me cry because I made a video yesterday and I did cry. But it's actually not the reason why I didn't want to share the video. It's actually because of the fact that I had to kick out the cat so many times yesterday out of my room that I forgot to put the headphone back on. And because it was nighttime and I was talking quietly, you can barely hear what I'm saying and you just hear the fan and fuzzy thing. And I probably am still going to share that video because I don't know if I can say everything that I said in that video. It's challenging when you are a person who creates videos where you're talking because it takes time and energy to explain things and then to have to redo and redo. Much like how actors feel like that in a sense. Only in this sense, I don't have a director. I don't have a coach or any of those things. It's all me. Most of us YouTubers, most of us Instagram influencers, it's usually all us until we become big and then someone else eventually, wants to sponsor us or what have you. By the way, the music I'm playing today is Beautiful Venice 4K Relaxing Italian Music Instrumental Romantic. It's just showing the top view of Italy. I don't really like the view, but anyways. I don't like labels. I don't like labels. To an extent, yeah. Like, if I'm your woman, I'm your woman. That means I'm your girlfriend. That means I'm your wife. Like, to an extent, yeah. But this is what I mean about the whole label part. Like, I don't like the label of depression. I don't like it. Why? Because maybe I'm just sad today. Can I just be sad today and not be like, oh my God, you're going through depression? Can I just have a sad couple of weeks? Can I just be kind of sad and not have to be like, you're under depression, you should take these pills and get the fuck out of here. This is the way the world is. We have different feelings. You could laugh, you could cry, you can joke, whatever. You can feel sad, you can feel super happy. So, the example of me being raped, right? There's a lot of women who've been raped, a lot of men also, and a lot of children. And we've all had different experiences of how it's happened. That's true too. So I can understand that it's got to be a lot more traumatic for someone else who wasn't fully conscious in it. All three of my rapes, I was fully conscious in it, but not fully because I was also drugged or had a lot of alcohol in my system. And so I was mostly kind of waking up and falling asleep. But it didn't mean that it was just easy to forgive and let go. And this is something that I really want to make clear. I don't know if this is a Pisces thing, but let me tell you something. I will forgive. I've forgiven so many people. People who've cheated, people who've lied, people who've disrespected me, people who've abused me, people who forced their junk inside of me. I have forgiven them, but guess what? I'll never forget. And that doesn't mean, well, to be honest, it means a couple of things. I'm not going to hold the pain and anger and upsetness of it. That's why I enjoyed moving to Miami, because I was so dark and deep down the rabbit hole and found out so much shit during the shutdown. Like so much shit that I actually was finding out even years back, but I kind of pushed it under the rug because I wasn't ready. I was like, I don't want to hear this. I need to get back to work. But when I was going through the shutdown, I didn't have to get back to work. I was all by myself in my apartment, didn't have no boo. Had a bunch of other friends who were afraid of the Rona. I wasn't one of them. I literally believed the nonsense for a week, y'all. For a week. And after that, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing watching the news? The news lies. Like, I'm not going to believe them. I'm going to let God, like, tell me how it is. Like, and I've felt this way even when I didn't know I believed in God. I've always felt this connection where I'm very intuitive, where I can tell if something's off or right or safe or not. I don't need the 5 o'clock news to tell me how to feel and how to be concerned. I don't need the 9 o'clock news to also tell me, oh, you should be scared and also turn off your lights. I don't need anyone to tell me how to feel and how to be. And so, even though, yes, there have been 3 men that have violated me, one who was actually my husband, 2 which happened in New York, and 1 which happened in Miami recently. I have forgiven them, but it doesn't mean I forgot. And it doesn't mean that they're not going to get their karma. Okay? Because, for example, while I may not be saying the names here, I could give you enough information to be able to find the names yourself. And them to have to repay that and face the music and realize, like, oh shit, you're the one who raped Maji. Or they do that to other women and other people and they put them in jail or what have you. Karma is going to get to y'all. But I'm not in a rush to do it. I just know that it's going to happen regardless. Those of y'all who tried to evict me this year while I was going through CHS, and here you are a mother, good luck. Good luck. The way I see life is too beautiful to waste it being mad and angry at people. And I'm not saying I don't get mad and angry at people. You guys, I do. I do. That's also why I don't want to drive. I literally don't want to drive. I'm a speeder and I get road rage and I get mad at people very easily. I cannot stand the stupidity. I can't. And while I've turned into a much more patient person over the years, people risking my life, and this happened in Miami too, and this happened in Chicago too, where when people would almost hit me, or not see me, and like I'd have to move over into the other lane. If I got to the point where we got up to the red light, I would be banging on their fucking car. Banging on their car. Let them know what you did was fucking insane. You're on your phone. Wake the fuck up. I'm a human being. And you know what's even crazy about Miami too? And I've told this to a few people in Miami. I found out that I have to look really sexy in order to be respected more for whatever reason. Even by the women. You'd think that the women would get jealous. No. If I look sexy and I have these like banging ass booty shorts and my titties are nice and out and I have like my cleavage and everything and I put on my makeup and I have my earrings and I just kind of da-da-da-da like that, people will be more respectful to me. If I'm wearing all black and no one can really see my butt or how beautiful my thighs are or how beautiful I am, and I'm just kind of driving and I'm wearing a hoodie, they will disrespect me more. I'm just letting you know that's something that has happened to me because I've ridden my bike every single day. I mean, I think it was the first month I was in Miami, I didn't ride a bike because I didn't have one. But after that month, every day I rode my bike and scooter, except for when I got like, injured from CHS and stuff. So this is the other main issue I wish to talk about too, because kind of this has to do with what I had to say yesterday, which was, and I put it in the video and I had a very long discussion with family members, which I have been doing such a good job. I'm telling you, I've been doing such a good job of keeping my mouth shut when people say something ignorant. When people say false news. And I gave this example to my father yesterday because he was very upset about me supporting white people. I know he probably won't agree with what I'm saying, but in my point of view, because this is my point of view, and I love my father very much, Papi. I love you so much, Papi. And I told you that last night. I love you very much. I respect you. You teach me a lot. You're very talented. You help a lot of people. You're a good person. Pero, but, just even a good person doesn't mean you haven't made mistakes that are in support of the evilness. And it was just almost beyond ridiculously hilarious to see their side, which is mostly liberalism, following the Democrats, not democracy, Democrats, demon rats, and being against Republicans and being against white supremacists and feeling communists, that they thought that I was the one siding with the system that has been so terrible to people and brown people and black people especially. I literally let him know I agree with so much that he says. And he even said like, oh, and now you're all right. Da, da, da. And I'm like, that's not true. I correct people on the right too. That's exactly what I'm saying, is that this whole, oh, now it's time to get angry at everybody. It's like, that's not helping. That's not helping. And I got corrected by my sister yesterday, and I didn't mind getting corrected because that's what I mean. I don't mind getting corrected. I don't mind being rejected. I don't mind being critiqued. I don't mind people telling me, hey, that wasn't the right thing. Because then I learn. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't have said ew that you're wearing a mask. I should have just sent you the articles of how masks literally do damage to your lungs. You're absolutely right. And I even said, and I'm sorry. And I really am sorry. And she says, okay. And I'm like, no, I just want you to know I am sorry. Because one thing that a lot of people don't realize, especially the people who know as much information as I know, and it's not a lot of people. I mean, I think it is a lot more people than I believe, but not all of us always openly share it with everybody because we know that so many people are asleep that if you start sharing it, people start going, oh my God, you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. Which y'all don't even know what conspiracy theorists was derived from. It was literally derived from the murder of JFK for the people who called it a murder and didn't want to believe the news. Why? Because they knew that didn't make sense. So be careful how you guys are labeling us that. And that's basically based on other people who knew the information at that time being called that. So think about that. It's almost like you calling us the N-word now. All right. I was explaining to my father that, I've been to Trinidad and Tobago like 3 times, and I would have gone so many more times except for the shutdown happening and then all the other shit. And Trini has been taking really bad care of, the shutdowns and all that stuff. And a lot of other countries too. Chile did it too, where you weren't allowed to leave your home. Only one person at a time could leave. Like, that's police state, son. And that's literally what I was even talking about in my old video. What's it called? What would you do for what did you do for Mother Nature today? I literally spoke about that, about how I knew police state was coming. I'm not the only one. I'm not saying like, oh, I predicted it and y'all didn't know. No, there's other people like me who know, but we're very silent about it. And I even got a chance to talk with a few people. I'll be honest with you. This whole me being on the apps, I'm not really looking for a date, a boyfriend, or a husband. I'm not. I'm actually doing my best to awaken a lot of men. And also find the men who are awakened and give them motivation to keep on awakening people. That's literally what I'm doing. Yeah. I have great conversations with people and I'm correcting them about you're not a real man and you should be doing better for women. And then also, oh, you didn't get the jabby wabby and what your family's still pressuring you. Don't give up. Keep on awakening them. Keep on awakening them. And the last video that I made, 1616, which I'm trying to edit and it's been taking forever to edit. That's why I'm like, it's time to do a new video today because I have so much things I want to share. Is about, what did I call it? It's about all of us awakened people not giving up on awakening people. And remembering that, you know what? Even if you say it wrong, even if you fumble, even if you cry, even if you hiccup, even if you said the word wrong, even if you got confused with a specific, it doesn't matter. And I know this, I did see a quote similar to that, but I'm speaking of my own words. Okay. Don't worry about being so perfect and having to awaken people. Don't worry about that. Just do it. Just fucking do it. All right. Because I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to upload that video. Hopefully I do, but that's as little as I'm going to give to this one at the moment, 1717. I was explaining that in TNT, in Trinidad and Tobago, I was treated well by black women more so than I have in the United States. And where have I lived in the United States? Before I went to Trinidad, I had lived in Ithaca. I lived in New York City, and I lived in Chicago. So I got treatment from all those. Like there was actually a black girl in school who used to come onto the bus and tap me on my forehead and tell me, get the fuck out my seat. This is my seat. And I'm like, but I'm sitting here. And she's like, get out of my seat, get out of my seat. And what's crazy was that I remember my mother saying, why didn't you just get up? And I'm like, why would I get up? I was sitting there. I'm not going to but I was nice enough to let her just keep on tapping me on the head. I didn't fight her. You know what my father said? My father said I should have fought her. But people won't care about that. They'll be like, oh, well, you have no idea what Rosa Parks went through. And this is my whole point. There are bad and ghetto people all over the world. And there are good, respectful people all over the world. It got nothing to do with their religion. Got nothing to do if they have a family, if they have children. It has nothing to do with their race. It doesn't. It has to do with the person. I could hate men right now because I've been raped before. And I could be like, fuck men. That's all that men do. Oh, and be angry. I'm not anymore. I'm not. Yes, maybe I might still be sad or upset about it or cry or not be able to sleep one night because it was a tough thing to go through many times. But I'm not going to blame all men for it. Okay? Yes, I have had black women not respect me since a childhood all the way up into my 20s, 30s years, many times. And also black guys too harass me, hit me. Not always. But for example, one time I was in Jamaica. I used to live in Jamaica, and the ghettoest things always happened to me there out of all the places I lived in New York. And let me tell you, I know New York better than most of y'all. I just got to say. Because maybe you lived in Brooklyn. Maybe you lived in Forest Hills. Maybe you lived in Astoria. Maybe you lived in Washington Heights. Guess what? I lived in all of those places. All of those places. All of them. I literally lived in like, I think, something like 18 different places when I lived in New York City. In Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. So when I say I know New York, I know New York. Maybe it obviously, not maybe, it obviously has changed a lot since. But when I'm talking from experience, I'm talking about many experiences, many locations, many jobs. I didn't just work in restaurants. I've worked at restaurants, nightclubs, hotels, airports, gyms, fitness centers, salons, and other stuff. So when I'm telling you something, it's not, oh, well, that just was that one time. No, it literally happened like 15 to 100 times. When I'm talking about a story, it's happened many times. And I remember I was getting my wine, and it was at when you get off the Jamaica stop, well, basically where you can get the LIRR and you can go to JFK, and also the E and F trains still go there, I'm sure, right? Sutphin, right? I think it's Sutphin Boulevard. I went to go get my wine, and some guy was hitting on me real hard, and I didn't like it. And he kept on saying, oh, yeah, I like your ass. All this crazy shit. I don't remember what he said, but I just was like, you know what? Take a picture. It lasts longer. And that's literally all I said. I could have said whatever the fuck I wanted because he was already disrespecting me and harassing me in a liquor store. Do you know what happened? And I didn't think this was going to happen. I just thought, here I am standing up for myself, and now I'm going to walk out. I walk outside of the liquor store. The man is mad at me. He yells out really loudly across the block, hey, grab that white bitch. All right? Because clearly I'm white, you know. Okay. And I get grabbed by a very, very obese black woman. I'm talking as obese as the movie Precious, like very big, obese woman. And I had only just started kickboxing recently. So I knew how to do moves, but not as well as I do now. 22. I let her hold on to me, and I just kept telling her, please, you're making a mistake. Like, you don't understand. He was harassing me. And she's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut up, white bitch. Shut up, white bitch. All this shit. And there were people, mostly like teenagers, maybe early 20s. I'm talking like from the age of 15 to 22, maybe, that came up to me and that were planning to beat my ass. And who knows what else? Who knows what else? Beat, rape, kill, who knows? They were all circling me and pushing me against the wall. And I was praying to God, and I just was like, holy shit, like, this is it. I'm gonna get really abused here. This is actually happening. And 3 black men, older men, like in their 40s, grown men, adults, were like, stop. And I'm not sure if they did this because it was happening, but they literally told the teenagers and the young people, the cops are coming, stop, let go of the white girl, go. And then they told me to run. They literally were like, run out of here, get out. And I ran and caught up to the bus, and the bus had just arrived, and I was crying my whole bus ride home. And I came home to who? My black boyfriend at the time, and told him what happened. So that experience didn't make me hate black people. I still loved my man very much, even though he became an abusive boyfriend down the line. And I found that out later. But still, again, even though I've endured and experienced things like this, doesn't make me go, all black people are ghetto. I hate, no. There are ghetto Chileans. Yo soy chilena. There's ghetto Chileans. There's ghetto Colombians. I don't know if you know this from Colombia. My father brought this from Colombia. There's ghetto white people. Y'all call them the white trash. It's okay to call them white trash. That's not racist. All I'm saying is that many things can happen to people. It doesn't mean that we're going to turn into this person that now hates those people. And my father was in a way kind of standing up for the fact that I got treated so nicely from the Oh, my mother's calling me, but mommy, I'm doing a video right now, so I'm gonna have to put no.